What is going on to all of my Guardians of the Galaxy fans out there? Welcome back to the channel, Movie Files. My name is Elliot, and I'm excited to be here with you all because I have a very, very special guest that I'm going to be talking to with you all about this film, and we will be talking spoilers. We're pre-recording this week before its release, and we'll be talking about themes and characters, what worked, what didn't work, the ending, what next release, Guardians, and all that good stuff. So, listen, y'all. I have a superstar. I had to talk to the assistant of the assistant for my next guest here because she's so busy covering so many great TV shows, so many great movies that she covers on the channel. And when I tell y'all the interviews, some of the best I've ever seen. So I'm so excited to pick her brain on this film, talk to her about this movie. I'm talking about my special guest, the one. And by the way, this is pre-recorded. I'm going to put this on a live or a premiere. Put your hearts in the chat for me now and put some hearts in the comments for my next guest, special guest, the one and only Sharonda from Pay or Wait. What is going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Now that I get to see you, talk to you about this film and just dissect it, Sharonda. I'm so happy to have you on. How are you doing on this Saturday evening that we're recording this video?
I'm doing good. It's really
Doing good.
deprived as always, but I'm good.
Well, Sharonda, look, I would be very shocked if the people that are watching this video haven't heard of your awesome content. But just in case they just created a Google account, they just found out what YouTube is. Why don't you introduce yourself and let the people know where they can find you?
I am Sharonda Williams. I have a channel called Pay or Wait where I do film and TV reviews and interviews. You can follow me at Pay or Wait on all social media platforms. And I'm just happy to be here with Elliot. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And listen, listen, guys, check out her YouTube channel. All her links will be in the description of this video. Watch her video 50,000 times. Let her know how awesome she is, and help her get to her next goal, which is 100,000. She is killing it, y'all, on so many different fronts. So thank you so much, Sharonda, for joining me today. And I'm excited, man. So myself and Sharonda, we haven't talked about the film. So you all will be hearing her thoughts from my perspective for the first time. So I guess before we even get into the movie, Sharonda, I guess my first question for you is, what has your relationship been with the Guardians before this film? I'm talking 2014's Guardians 1, 2017 2. You know, we got them in Infinity War and Endgame. They came back with Thor: Love and Thunder. We got them in that holiday special. So prior to going to this film, what's the relationship like? Are you a fan? Do you like them? Or you just don't care about them? What's your thoughts about the Guardians?
I like them. I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't speak of the second one. I like the holiday special. I thought it was cute. I like the Guardians. I like the growth they had, minus Peter. But overall, I like it. I like them.
I'm in the same boat with you, and I would go. And this is kind of touching on my thoughts of this third film, but even prior to this, they were probably my favorite, I guess, group of characters that somewhat resemble a family. You know, we got the Avengers, but we really didn't spend a ton of time with them, and they're interchanging characters. Ant-Man family, sure, they're fine. There's a couple other families in the MCU, but nothing as consistent as these characters have been for me personally. So I was pretty excited for this film because, you know, we talked about it. I was fortunate enough to be in your channel back in November when we talked about Wakanda Forever and just phase 4 and now phase 5 with Ant-Man Quantumanium. The magic has been lost, around the magic, the sauce has been lost for whatever reason. I know we're rebuilding the team and getting back to, you know, getting to fall in love with these characters again. But I guess the next question is, before we break it all down, general impressions when you walked out of the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for the first time. Were you like, they stuck the landing? I wish they would did this a little bit differently, or did you absolutely love it?
I was indifferent.
Okay.
I was like, you know, it was cute.
It was cute. Listen. And obviously we'll break it down. It broke me to pieces. I'm gonna be honest, Sharonda, for a lot of different levels. The one that comes to mind, because I got my dog looking at me right now, I'm an animal lover. So on the darkness of it all, especially when we talk about the High Evolutionary, who was just someone that I couldn't wait to get his ass beat, and that when we got that in this film, so it hit those notes as far as dark. But then, as I talked about, I love these characters, Sharonda. So it pained my heart to see them, as we'll talk about, kind of split their ways and having those emotional beats. But again, to further expand upon, you said it was cute. Did the emotional aspects, or maybe the darkness, or the grittiness of the film didn't resonate with you?
I think for me, you know, the emotional beats they hit, the movie is very emotionally manipulative. I figured as much that dog lovers, like just animal lovers in
Yeah.
general, are really gonna love this. I mean, I think that he did a great job of getting you, invested with Rocket's backstory. I love
Yes.
Rocket's backstory, and
Yep.
you love all of the animals that you see, and I like the message that it brings to it. But I just felt like it was very manipulative, and I think because of Rocket's backstory and them trying to bounce between, okay, be depressed, now laugh, depressed, laugh. It just
Tonally, it was kind of a
it
mixed
was
bag.
very off tonally. And I think the whole getting people sad about how we treat animals and things like that, I think that's going to shield people from the issues with the film. I think most people are going to resonate so much with the emotional aspect of it. And I
Right.
do love the family aspect of things. And I like how, if you think about everybody's endings, their happy endings all deal with family. But I just felt as though for these characters, I felt like we can delve into it. But I do feel
Yeah.
like some of the characters are underutilized. Some of the characters have literally lost all of their character development, been pushed back a couple of steps. Some characters like Gamora are in service of Peter, and that's
I
it.
definitely
That's
have that in my notes.
activity. So yeah, like I just wish that we could be more critical about this, because I think because the emotions tugged at your heartstrings so much,
It might
that
cloud some of the other stuff.
yeah, like I think it clouds the judgment on, is this actually a good movie? If we look at the narrative, if we look at how the tone is split, if we
Yeah.
look at the characters, for this to have been the third and final film with the Guardians, is it satisfying to you?
See, y'all, this is why I have her on here. I love it. I love it. So, a quick pushback. So, on the first viewing a couple days ago, I was in a similar boat with you. Tonally speaking, I found the flashbacks of Rocket, which I think was needed because we knew prior to seeing it that this was going to be his film. I love the little callback at the end that he's been the protagonist essentially from the beginning. But the back and forth between Rocket and then going to them on the mission, I personally would have liked, and even on the second view, I still would have liked, because I'm a big Rocket fan. I think he's my favorite Guardian of the entire team. I love Rocket so much, and he's one of my favorite characters. If I'm being honest with you, in the MCU, him not being as involved with the main plot to me was something that bothered me, because I just love their banter and them being all together, and him just being on the hospital bed the whole time to me was kind of distracting, because I just wanted him to be so much involved. Like I thought creatively they could have made it where Lila was still alive and maybe sends him a transmission about, as we'll talk about Adam Warlock, who I think when you refer to people that could have been expanded upon more, I think he's definitely one that kind of a lot to be desired, to say the least. But I thought that he could have had maybe Lila be involved more, and Rocket's going on this mission to save her, as saving his family with his new family. So I just wish he was more involved there. But I will say, on a second viewing for me, Sharonda, the tone played better for me. I got a little bit more subtext that I might have missed the first time around, but I definitely agree with you on some of these characters, especially Gamora. And if you want to expand on that a little bit further, because to me, I feel like in hindsight, it was emotionally like they killed Gamora, like the stakes are really high in Infinity War. But then I'm like, going into this third one, all the stuff we built with her in the first two films is now just kind of thrown away. And like you said, she's just kind of, I don't fault Zoe Saldana, but I feel like she was very kind of one note within this film. If you want to speak on that a little bit further with the usage of the character, Gamora.
Well, she's barely using the character in the movie. Either she's just angry Gamora, or she's just chilling on the ship while everybody else is doing stuff.
Yeah.
And the most egregious part of it is she's only there in service of Peter's crushed ego or broken heart,
Well, yeah.
because he wants to be with Gamora, and that's the only reason why she's actually there. And it's an issue that I kind of have with Marvel right now, is when we talk about stakes being high, the stakes aren't high because you brought Gamora back. You brought her back, and then I just thought when she left, okay, well, Gamora's going to stay gone. But no, then you bring her back into this movie, and it was annoying for me to have to watch a woman continue to be like, I don't like you.
Right. That wasn't me. Move on.
Like, she's literally being harassed the entire film by somebody she does not know. And I don't know why people didn't think that would look crazy, but I started getting angry for her because she just like, bruh, I don't know you. I don't have a picture of you. Like, you're not my man. So why are you bothering me? And then to do all of this, and at the end of the movie, she's still not with Peter.
Savages. Yeah.
What was the point? Like, why even have her there?
That, I mean, listen, I totally agree with you. And I think James Gunn even came out a couple weeks ago and maybe even said in the past about like, he didn't necessarily like the way the Guardians were used in Infinity War and Endgame, which is wild to me because I could have sworn, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he like an advisor? Didn't the Russos go to him to be like, hey, is this what we can do with the Guardian?
Director. So I guess I'm kind of confused. And maybe he's just saying that because of the hate that Chris Pratt gets.
With the whole, which he mentions in the film. Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing because he still has not addressed his role with the blip. So we're at this conclusion and he still has not atoned for his sins. And y'all really just tried to gloss over it like people were going to forget what Peter did. I still have not forgotten.
They do briefly mention it when they're in the elevator scene. They kind of play it as a joke. And Gamora, to me, was definitely a character that I was a big fan of in Guardians 1 and 2. Big fan of Zoe Saldana. This is their last outing, so they have to bring all the characters back from the original. But story-wise and narratively, I think James Gunn kind of replaced Nebula, her characteristics from Volume 1, and just kind of simply implemented into Gamora. Because like you mentioned, she's mad, she's grumpy, for rightfully so, because she has this puppy dog on her leg this whole film. But I 100% agree with you, Gamora. I wish they'd never killed her at this point now, because it unfortunately leaves her. And if I'm not wrong, Zoe's saying this is her last time in the role. So I think we're not going to be able to see her portrayal again. Money talks, but I don't think she needs money with the film she's been in, and she got Avatar 9, 10, 11, 12 to work on. So we'll see. But I'll agree with you there. Back to the emotional aspect of it, and Rocket, who I think was the emotional spine of this film. The opening, did you get any attachment? I know you said that some of the emotional manipulation was there, but opening the movie with Rocket, young baby Rocket, hand in the cage, Radiohead, Creep playing, and we kind of intro into catching up to the Guardians. How did you like the opening of this film, especially exploring more of, like I said, that Rocket backstory?
I thought it was fine. But because they had comedy, I would have rather just had a happy opening. I was fine with it. I like the song choice. I like how it opens. Okay. At the end of the day, like, we're not in a happy place with the Guardians, which is still weird because I know you're asking me this question, but I'm sorry, but
take it.
The holidays, one of my biggest issues with this film is it totally makes the holiday special pointless. Because in my eyes, when we finished the holiday special, they were supposed to just be moving forward. And then we come to this, and it's the same thing.
Peter, when we see Peter in the first opening scene, he's still moping over at Gamora as he's drinking, and it seems like
worse.
Because Drax was like, oh, is he doing it again or something like that? So it seems like this is a recurring thing. And I don't know how much of time has went from the special until when we start this film. I don't know if it was weeks, months, days. I agree with you there. The only I didn't like the holiday special because the two characters that they focus on are characters I don't really personally care for, which is Drax and Mantis. But I'll be honest, I don't know how you feel about Drax and Mantis after this film. I feel that they were slightly redeemed, especially Drax, the Destroyer, who's literally for Volume 2, Infinity War, he's just a joke, but he was a little bit more serious, and I appreciate that. But getting into the holiday special, only thing I took away from that as this film addresses, their headquarters are now nowhere, because we found out in the holiday special that I guess, they bought it from the collector, and then also the Mantis and Peter relationship, that they're siblings or whatnot. So that was like literally the only thing that I took away from that. And the Gamora or Nebula's cool Bucky Winter Soldier arm that she has, that was pretty awesome. Character that I want your thoughts on, Adam Warlock. My little bit of knowledge from Adam Warlock comes from the Infinity Gauntlet saga. He was very critical in that with the Soul Stone and all that stuff. So once he wasn't involved in Infinity War, I kind of knew that they were going to take creative liberties in introducing us to him for the first time. Narratively speaking, Sharonda, the whole an infant type of mindset, being immature, I don't know, even on a second viewing, I don't know if I like the adaptation of Adam Warlock being officially introduced in the MCU. What say you, Sharonda? What did you think about Adam Warlock as he's introduced with fighting the Guardians, takes him down pretty easily, Nebula ends up taking him out, and he has to retreat. But in general, Adam Warlock was a character. Thumbs up, thumbs down, somewhere in the middle.
Oh no, it's a thumbs down. And I think that he had a great intro to the movie, but every character doesn't have to be a joke. And
Yeah, that's a James Gunn trope, it seems like.
frustrating because it's like, okay, we let you do what you did to Drax. It's fine. Like, I'm just kind of used to it by now.
Right,
But
right.
every character doesn't have to be a joke. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes, and honestly, the state of where the MCU is right now, we need like serious, like badass characters. Okay. I need to feel the fear of Adam Warlock. And it just, I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me for him being a child and even the relationship between, you know, him and the villain.
Mhm.
If you look at his backstory, like he has cool backstories, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
with fighting. Well, first he was fighting with Thanos. It was him, Thanos, and Gamora fighting together. Then he tried to
Yeah.
take the Soul Stone. And then
Right, right.
he almost got his ass
Got a
beat
lot of stuff, yeah.
and
Yeah.
go with his little cocoon into space. But I mean, I mean, and now in the comics, he is an infant. I mean, he still looks like him, but he's not dumb. So I don't
Right.
understand.
That's the difference. That's right. Yep. Yep.
Like, why do we have to do that? And then he really didn't do nothing the rest of the movie. Like, outside of the intro sequence, he had
Yeah.
nothing to do.
Way to introduce a character to show their capabilities or their power scale is destroy your team. And he essentially did that. That intro scene was pretty fire just to show what he's capable of. But yeah, you're totally right. After that, we see him literally get belittled again in front of the main villain, which is the High Evolutionary. But it just kind of almost negates the fact that he was so badass in the scene before, and now he's being tossed up against the wall. It reminded me so much of when Kang was just like MODOK, just to shut up. He was just like a bug to him. It's like, damn, this, I guess he's not that threatening. And then to your point, every other time we saw Adam Warlock, it was a joke. He disintegrated that one guy when they were trying to question him. The next time we saw him was on, like, he was almost absent for like 30 or 40 minutes in the film with him and his mother. Yeah, him and his mother were looking for the Guardians, and the next time we see him, he's trying to take right. Yeah, it was redeeming factor besides the opening scene is I feel like Will Palmer, I think he tried to do the best that he was given, that what James Gunn gave him. And I totally agree with you. The whole you can be an infant, because they say in the film that he was awakened too early by High Evolutionary because he wanted him to find Rocket. But you're so right, Sharonda. There's a way to show infancy and show a fish out of water and not make them look dumb. And that's what they did in this film, which is unfortunate. We'll talk about it at the end, that he's now a part of a team, and we might get whoever's the new director of the next Guardians. They might try to retcon some things potentially.
I figured that's what they would be doing, so that's why I was just like, I'm not even worried about it because I'm pretty confident most of these characters will be retconned anyway.
I agree. I'll tell you about the plot here. Rocket gets shot after that first fight with Warlock. He gets badly wounded. They can't fix him up because he has a kill switch on his heart. They plug him into Nebula. She finds out that he's registered to the High Evolutionary, and their whole goal is we got to save our friend. Why, Sharonda? It wasn't hidden for you, the premise of saving their friend.
There's no plot. I mean, at the end of the day, they're trying to save Rocket, and they're just doing dumb things the entire time to go and save Rocket. And a part of this, the main reason this doesn't work is because we don't even have a real villain in the movie. The High Evolutionary is
Take it away. I was gonna say, let's talk about High Evolutionary.
Yeah, the High Evolutionary is not a villain in this movie. I don't even know what backstory they tried to go through because part of it is you don't know what his powers are, because I don't know if it's his suit that gives him the power, but in the comics, he was kind of like possessed a little bit. Like he had like a different type of power that like made him go mad and made him go insane. And so that's how he had all the power until they brought him back down to his human form. But the High Evolutionary in the comics, he's just a scientist.
Right.
At the end of the day, like you tried to make him look like Thanos. Like if Thanos and Kang the Conqueror had a baby,
they refer to him as a god in this film. Gamora is like, he's considered a god to some people, some corners of the galaxy. So yeah, they totally agree with you. They made him seem OP.
He was just a smart philanthropist. Like literally, that's what he came off as. And I think because we really didn't get any backstory into what version of the High Evolutionary that we have. For me, I was just like, this isn't a villain. And what villain do y'all just kill the first time y'all like fight him? if you think about it, because Peter and Groot wasn't trying to fight the High Evolutionary because he went off.
Mm.
He had left. So the first time that they fought him was when all of them fought him at the end, and they killed my dude in like 0.25 seconds.
It was quick. His powers somehow didn't work during that scene.
So have that make sense for me. We didn't even know if he had powers. It looked like he just had power from his suit, like he was a bootleg Iron Man or something.
So a couple of things, and that's a lot of great stuff there that you said. And by the way, for all those watching the video, thank you guys for watching. Again, like, share, comment your thoughts in the comment section, and more importantly, Sharonda, her links in the description, so definitely check her out. So I will say, on a first viewing, I was in this very similar, like, where does his power stem from? Where did he get his powers? What is really his motives? And again, the second rewatch last night, it kind of gave me a better perspective of a couple things. So they don't flat out spell it out for us, but there are a couple moments in the film that kind of goes by quickly. There's a scene where he's getting Rocket from his cage, and they're like, Messiah, go back to your therapy or whatever. And what I kind of took from it is, and again, it's subtle things. Every time we saw him within the flashback, he had like a new, like, little technology on his head. And to me, and to your point, it's more of showing versus telling. And knowing a little bit of the only time I knew about the High Evolutionary prior to this film was he was in an episode of X-Men, and he was in an episode of Spider-Man Unlimited. But besides that, I don't really read too much of the High Evolutionary. So I did one of those, which we have to unfortunately do with some Marvels, like filled in the blanks that he was experimenting with different things. And then there's a line, he meets Peter. He says that I manipulated gravity and now it's at my wing. So I just assume he's been experimenting with this since Rocket beat his ass however many years ago when he scratched up his face. So that's where I kind of assume his power stemmed from, was just him experimenting on himself because he's a mad scientist. That kind of filled in a little bit, but I'm with you. I wish we would have gotten more of that to really fully flesh that out. The motives are still something that I think he say it's his whole thing is perfection and making things perfect. I think that's a big guard against that. I don't think any of the villains are that great.
I do like the line when he said, I wasn't trying to destroy it. I was trying to make it perfect.
Right at the end,
I wish they would have played more into like how imperfection is celebrated. Yeah. Like I feel like there was something there, like when he said that, like it makes you, Rocket's been embarrassed by he's embarrassed by his intelligence. He's embarrassed about these experiments of what he's done to him. But his family thinks that he's like the smartest person. They love how smart he is. Like even Nebula says, like, I can do all these cool things because of Rocket.
Because of Rocket,
like, I wish we would have kind of played more on that, like embracing and celebrating what makes you imperfect. Because it's like your imperfections, those are the things that people love about you.
Yeah, that's your personality. That's what makes you special.
Yeah, I wish we could have played more into that. But because we don't, I think the problem is we really don't spend time with the High Evolutionary. And I think that's the issue, because we don't even know his motive until like the last 10 minutes of the movie. So it doesn't make any sense. Like when Thanos talks about how, like, I'm trying to make this world better and like
balancing the scales and all that.
There's not enough resources. Like
you
kind of was like you empathize a little
bit. It's evil. You're an evil person. I get where you're going.
I mean, like it's still genocide, Thanos.
Yeah.
Most people is trying to be in the right place, but you can't kill people to do that. But I got it. But for him, we don't spend time with him at all. He's sitting in his little scientist,
little laboratory.
Like, it's
sitting in his Indian style. I hear you, and I don't fault Chewie. I can't pronounce it.
It's not his. It's not his. Yeah, we're great. I think all the actors, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. You know, you could really tell like his theater experience, how he gave his like monologues and his speeches. But it's just like, but I was like, but you're not a villain, baby. Like you're not a villain. Like I'm not scared of you. So when people said there's high stakes in this movie, what are the high stakes in the movie? Because everyone survived, nobody died. Peter,
which I'm happy with, because I love the Guardians.
So, like, what were the stakes in this movie? Because you don't have a good villain, and ain't nobody dead.
So I'll say this. I definitely agree with you. I think his performance was great. The character should have been more fully fleshed out. I do disagree with the villain side of he's doing villainous things. I'll say that because again, the animal cruelty. What was that?
Animals.
He was,
Okay.
and listen, and
Like,
he was torturing animals. He was disintegrating animals, but also, and I guess these are animals too. He destroyed a whole world, his world, counter Earth. He killed all those people because they weren't perfect. And I totally agree with you too, Sharon. I don't want to skip over that. I do wish the film would have focused more on, like you mentioned, because I think that is a big theme of this film. You know, Drax being called an idiot this whole film, and like what we love about you, Drax, is your imperfections. And Rocket, like you mentioned, yeah, he doesn't like to show his smarts to him because whenever I think traumatically, he was so smart to try to break his friends out and end up getting his friends killed. So, like you said, he definitely kind of hides that side of him because of the trauma he has. So, I totally agree with you. That should have been something to really put a spotlight on a bit more. But he was doing, like I said, I will say he did some villainous things of not only the animal torture, but also just literally destroying it. And I like that weird fox bat looking family that they end up finding on the planet.
But I'm just saying, like, I think like Thanos,
yeah,
he destroyed planets, but like you literally couldn't stop Thanos. Like, if we're really thinking about it, like he ain't no different than a dictator or like any human in power. He is just a human in power. So for me, like, yes, he did terrible things, but he isn't scary. They killed him in 0.25 seconds. He just jumped him. They jumped him.
They
like it was nothing.
Everyone got a lick. I will say Thanos is definitely top of mind. Killmonger. I'm a Vulture fan. I wouldn't say he's definitely not top tier villains. No, by any means. But I'm taking High Evolutionary over Ronan any day of the week from the first Guardians. And if I'm being honest, I'm biased. I like Kurt Russell, but I'll probably put High Evolutionary, even if it might be bottom of tier. I still put him over, Ego, as far as just like. I totally get what you're saying as far as wanting more from him, being more menacing. But yeah,
I think this is what we've been falling victim to in the MCU.
Yeah.
When the bar is set to hell, like you can't let people like they've never had a good villain in Guardians. So
yeah. It's more like, focus on the team than villains.
Better than the other villains. None of the villains were good. So it's like when I say, "Are you a good villain?" I'm always going to compare you to Thanos. If I say like, I don't even think Thanos will want him on his team. So I'm just like,
he might recruit him to do some of his tech stuff.
No, but I think Thanos's minions, like they could have took him out. So I think for me,
the children of Thanos, the Black Order.
I just think that we haven't had a good villain in how long? The best villain we've had since Endgame was
I would say who?
And Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, Wenwu. Yeah, Wenwu was my dude. 100% agree with you there.
The High Evolutionary. He would have took him out.
Oh yeah, Wenwu would have put them hands on him real quick with those 10 rings. I'll throw. Listen, I got some villains for you, Sharana. Can we put some respect on Green Goblin? Willem Dafoe? The GOAT? Are you because he's coming from another multiverse? Are we not gonna count him from Spider-Man No Way Home?
Get his ass beat too. Like he just wears tech.
Hold on. Green Goblin is a GOAT. Green Goblin is a GOAT. Okay.
Green Goblin was a kid. Like, get real. He's another bully.
He's a great bully. He's a great bully. Who else was a villain? Eternals had a garbage villain. I like Namor. I was a big fan of Namor. Even though he came around. Oh yeah. I'm just I'm giving you my list of like good villains within the last few.
Yes, but I'm just saying like
it's been a minute. Yeah. I agree. Let us know in the chat, guys, how you again. I think we both can agree. Good performance.
Yeah,
wish we would have got more from it.
I just think that because they don't flesh out the character, we have no backstory. We don't because there's so many different iterations of the High Evolutionary. Like we just don't know, and you can't make movies and assume that we know the backstory of the characters. It just has to make sense in the context. If I knew nothing and I went in and watched this movie, this villain did nothing for me. He's just a mad scientist that's bullying animals. Like he bullies animals. Y'all gonna tell me you couldn't take him? If you took the suit off of him, like, come on now.
I don't know if I think the film establishes that he's he's been around for hundreds of years. So I don't think, to your point to the comics, I think he originated from like the 1930s, and he was, like you said, a scientist. But I don't think this version was like human
No,
at all. I
it
think he
seemed
was
like
a
started.
species. I don't think he was a
Yeah,
celestial or anything, but I think he had some. He's not a human in this film, but again, they don't establish that. But I agree with you there. We talked about Gamora, talked about how Rocket was really the spine, and I guess flashbacks. I know you said you weren't the biggest fan of how they cut back and forth from the flashback, but as far as the scenes that we got, did they move the needle for you at all? Meeting Baby Rocket, Lila, Teeth, and Floor. Did those
yeah,
flashbacks work for you?
I love them. My
Yeah,
homies.
I
R.I.P.
agree. Yeah, RIP to the whole crew. Drax and Mantis. Let's talk about them, because I'll be 100% honest with you, Sharonda. Since Guardians 1, I could care less about Drax because they totally forgot about this man was literally on vengeance to killing Thanos. Forgot about him being a destroyer. Mantis was just another Drax, just without the powers. Like, they're both two of the same characters for me. But
Better in this movie.
I 100% agree with you. They made Drax, number one, from the opening scene, he was fighting, which I enjoyed. But even putting that aside, they gave him a purpose. He was good with the kids. I really enjoyed what Drax did. And then him getting emotional in the film. I don't know if it was just this movie, but this movie to me made me really realize that Drax and Mantis are like big brother, little sister type of energy. I really appreciate that from them. And even Mantis giving her a little bit more to do and her standing up for Drax and stuff like that. So what did you, I guess, collectively, what did you think about them?
I like the whole scene with Nebula going off on them, and then how she stands up for Drax, and then how
Yeah.
Drax says like, "You didn't ask me. Like y'all don't.
Yeah.
All y'all want me to do is fight.
Just
You don't
thinking,
ever ask me anything like
yeah.
intellectual. So at
Yep.
the end of the day, like you didn't ask me, so I'm not gonna help you. Like you always think that I'm stupid, so that's what you
Mhm.
get. So I mean, I liked it. It was fine. I
Yep.
just the Drax thing don't bother me no more because at this point, it's been
Giving
how
up
many
on the character.
like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
It is what it is.
Let's say things that worked for you. I know you said you were kind of a mixed bag for you, but what were some scene wise, action set piece, the practicality I was a big fan of, especially all the practical looking designs of the creatures and that weird meaty Orgo
I
corp
love that. I
scene
thought
was
the
visually stunning to me.
visual effects were so great. I like their use
Clean.
of color,
Yeah.
like just all the different worlds. I like how we get into actually exploring the
The
galaxy.
galaxy. So
Um,
I'm not gonna say it better
going
myself. Yes.
going to like
Yes.
Counter Earth. Like I
Yep.
really that's the part that we love about Guardians of the Galaxy is we get to meet like go to different planets, meet different types
100%.
of people. I think they've
Yep.
always done a great job at doing that. I love Nebula in this. Like Nebula is just badass
So
and
cool. That
fantastic.
arm, Sharonda, is
The arm is dope.
OP.
Yeah.
I love it. I
I
love
love
it.
her character progression.
Yeah.
And really it's the themes of family. I like how everyone had their perfect family ending. Like Nebula finally found the family that she always wanted. How Drax, lost his child, lost his wife, lost his daughter, and now
Yeah.
he has all these children that look up to him. I thought that was beautiful. And
Yes.
Rocket, never feeling like he had or feeling like he's always going to lose his family or,
Mhm.
feeling insecure and how they all look to him like you're our leader, like you're the one, you're the glue that's always held us all together.
Cap.
I thought that was
Cap.
beautiful. Like he got
Yeah.
his family back, that he had lost. I love all of these different, these different things. Gamora just gets to live a peaceful life without Peter and just be with her people, like be with the
Yeah.
Raptors. Like
Yep.
I like how we had a beautiful, perfect family ending. Groot is grown now. I don't know how I felt about Groot actually speaking, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Love you guys. Yeah.
But yeah, like those are the things that I like. When we focus on family, when we focus on when you have the full circle moments at the end, I was okay with that.
Yeah.
And just, exploring the galaxy. I think
Yeah.
that's what we forget to do is explore the galaxy. So yeah.
I couldn't say it perfect myself. The galaxy traveling was great. And a year ago about the visual effects teams being rushed to do all these projects, and we saw a lot of bad visual effects, not only from a TV show perspective, but from movies. Like, why isn't this Disney? Why is this looking so botchy? This was clean. This was clean visual effects. Like you said, the Orgo Corp. I wasn't a biggest fan of that scene, and it was just the jokes were just kind of flat for me. But visually, it was beautiful. Very James Gunn, kind of weird, gooey stuff all around. That was cool. But I do want to praise the production team for doing all those makeup, the hair and makeup for the pandas, the bear, all the creatures and stuff. When we went to Counter Earth, that stuff to me was just super fire. But speaking of fire, something that we can both agree on, the soundtracks of all three of these films are fire to me. I don't know if you feel the same as far as the soundtrack, volume 1, 2, and now 3. It work for you?
The music was good, but the music was very distracting in this film to the point where it almost made me feel like I was watching a musical. You know how like something happens and then a song's about to come? That's
it
how
felt that way for you.
It was a bit much. Like I felt like it was a bit
too many needle drops.
It was too many.
Okay, I got you.
But I liked I mean, I was still jamming to the music. I thought the music was like fun. It was great. It was stuff I listened to, like, you know, but I just think that
kind of took you out of some of the moments.
It took me out of some of the moments.
I got you. Did the comedy work for you in this one? I know this is the whole James. Yeah.
Not all of it. Just like when they're at the little eyeball looking thing, like it didn't work there for me. Yeah, and I just think also too, let's mix up the cameos. It's like the same people in every movie. Like let's just mix it up a little bit.
I want to be friends with James Gunn because he's gonna be employed. I think Jennifer Holland, his wife was, which I know some people complain about that on Twitter. I'm okay with him. Personally, I'm okay with him using his friends. It's just like, it's one of the, if I was a director or writer or whatever, I want you on the set. I want you starring in my film. I get it. I know some people are tired of it, but I don't know. I just think it's cool that he's bringing his friends.
I want them in it, but I want them to be like a character. Not like they just be looking like they self. They're not.
Well, I know if I'm not mistaken, Nathan Fillion, his first role in Guardian, he was like he was in makeup. Let's break down the ending. Did you like Peter Quill in this one? Because the scene I was referring to is when he thought that Rocket was going to die, and Gamora is like, just let him go. I'm not going to let him go. To me, I took it as a double meaning, like, you know, you died. I'm not going to let another close person to me die. But he's also saving his best friend. But collectively, what did you think about Peter Quill?
Fine, but he made decisions based on him and not like consulting the whole team. And I thought he was fine. I don't think he was bad. I thought when he cursed out Nebula, this shit was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was a perfect use of
the F-bomb, the first F-bomb in Marvel. That was fun. Yes.
Like that was fantastic. I didn't know they had already released it because my friend was like,
I didn't see the clip. I heard about it, but I didn't see the clip. Yeah.
Great. I died. I was like, bruh, that took me out. That was perfect.
I agree. As we wrap up the film with, they revive Rocket. Drax and Mantis are in the back half of the ship because they were trying to save Peter and Groot, but they end up making it out of there. So now we have the team together. And I think it's probably one of my favorite action scenes of any Guardian film. When they're back, that hallway scene, Sharonda, I loved it. Because we've gotten in the MCU, we got the Avengers teaming up. We've gotten these type of one shots, but this was just so cool to me. I don't know, the Beastie Boys playing, them using all their fighting skills. I mean, take it away, Sharonda. What did you think about that action scene in the hallway? The film wraps up again. They're on the ship. They save the kids, who we'll talk about because Drax adopts them, and they're now in nowhere. Rocket goes back, gets into a fight. You mentioned it. They take him out pretty easily, rip off his face. So they're doing their whole Noah of the Ark scene. All the animals are getting on the ship. Breaks apart. Peter's running. He jumps. Well, before he jumps, he drops his Zoom player. And we all know how important the music is because it's from his mom. He drops it. He goes back. He gets stuck in space. And that's not, I think I counted, there's 4 fake out deaths in this film. And that was one of them. They faked out when Drax was when he was getting shot at the eye place and he was fine. When they were outside the spaceship and they were like, can breathe, they were fine. And now we get the fake out death with Peter. Adam Warlock comes, he gets second chance to save him. He wasn't a fan of
the funny thing is, I'm sitting here and I was like, is someone gonna tell Adam to get the hell up and go fly to go get him real quick? Like, I know you hurt, baby, but you can fly for 5 seconds. It would have took him 5 seconds to go zoom over there.
Just do it. Just go. Hey, keep my friend out for a second.
I was confused too because I was like, tell Adam to get his ass up and go get these kids and bring them over here. Like, what?
That's true. A man can fly at a very fast speed, my lord.
Yes, really. The whole scene when Peter's dying, I'm just like, so nobody gonna tell Adam to go get him? Like, literally.
Did you get emotional? I'm curious. Did you? I'm not a big. I like Chris Pratt in the role, but I'm not the big. If he would have died, I would have been sad, but I wouldn't have been heartbroken. If he would have died, how would that have landed with you? Would you have been potentially heartbroken?
Standing ovation.
He deserved it for Infinity War.
But not even that. It would have been a
good death.
Like a good death scene, and it would have had even more meaning. Because this the part that don't make sense, Elliot. Really sit and think about this, Ellie.
Let's hear it.
If Peter almost killed himself to go get
Mm.
that damn iPad,
Mm.
he did that and almost died. He died. He died. He died. Just to get an iPad to Rocket at the end. Y'all,
It was a parting gift, Sharonda. It was a parting gift. Something to
you
remind. He said he's gonna get it back from him. He said, just hold on for it for me.
life to get something that she gave away 5 minutes later. Can we really can we just, am I thinking too much? Why if Peter died?
Yeah.
And then if they got it, if the thing, if
I remember him by and yeah.
floated over to them and Rocky started playing it, that scene would have hit so much harder if he died. But to have him die to trying to go get this damn iPad to give it away, it literally made no sense whatsoever. It made no sense. Peter's brain probably exploded in the ice. His whole face
His whole face expanded. He looked like it was like a scene from Total Recall.
Yeah, I was like, how is he alive?
Yeah. I mean, maybe he still got a little bit of that celestial blood in him from his daddy that helped him survive a couple extra seconds. No, I totally agree with you. I thought it was like, what is it? And also too, where's his mask? This is the first throughout the MCU. He has his little mask that keeps him I guess he put it in his contract. I need my face to be shown. This isn't a Mandalorian situation here. I need my face to be on the big screen. But we end the film with them finally being back together because they were literally not together for most of the movie with Rocket being out. They're at the bar. And then Rocket's like, wait, we're going to break up? The group's going to break up? Mantis is going to go on her journey of self-discovery because she's served Ego. She served the Guardians. I respect that. Kind of finding herself with her 3 little creatures. Peter's going back to Earth. Check out on his granddaddy, which is a post-credit scene that we'll talk about. Drax wanted to go with Mantis, but he's like, I'm good. Stay here, which we understand that Nebula, Drax are now going to take care of these kids on Nowhere. And you mentioned Gamora. She's off with the Ravengers and her family. In the movie with I guess we're getting into our mid-credit scene. The new team. The new team, Sharonda. We got Cap, new captain, Rocket, which I love because he's my MVP. We have Cosmo the spaceship or space dog. We have Adam Warlock, who's now a Guardian. We have Kraglin. We have Alpha Groot, and then we have a character, the young. And I didn't notice this until I saw it the second time. It was the same girl. It's one of the girls that they saved from the ship, Pyla, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, I don't know who that is. I Googled it, and lo and behold, she is she's not original, but she, in one of the iterations of the Guardian, I think 2008 run in the comics, she is a character that is a part of the team. She's actually, and again, I don't know if they'll tie it into the Marvels at all. She's the daughter of Marvel. She is a Kree. So again, I don't know if Marvel's going to play into this later on, and she goes by another name, Quintar, which she has these, because when you saw her in the scene, she was kind of floating, and she had these little bands on her arm. First, I'm like, why is this little girl a part of the Guardians? But when I searched her name, she is a Guardian. So I guess we can expect her to be part of this team. So the question I have for you, Sharonda, as far as this conclusion of the film, but then this first mid-credit scene before we get into the post-credit, when do you anticipate we'll see this group again, if we'll get a Guardians 4, or if they're just going to pluck them in, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars? What's your thoughts?
I couldn't even get to my thoughts because I was highly confused by the mid-credit scene because we spent 2.5 hours talking about don't kill animals, and they were running to go fight animals. So
yeah, I didn't know what the hyena things.
I was distracted by that because I was just like,
they were gonna stun them. They're just stunning them. They're not gonna kill them. They're just gonna put them.
They were fighting to the death. Okay,
they did look like they were ready for war.
So I was confused because I was just like, we literally just had a 2.5 hour PSA on not to mess with, don't bother animals, and that's the first thing they do as Guardians.
Maybe they were demonic creatures that have no purpose or have no redeeming factors. I don't know what those things were, by the way. Yeah, even on the second rewatch, I'm like, what are they, lion? Weird looking things.
Alien hyenas or something.
Yeah, that's what's like little hyenas. So I'm a fan of the mid-credit scene. But let me run by this post-credit scene, which involves, we already saw Peter at the end of the movie go back to his grandfather's house, who he thought he wasn't going to be happy to see him because of how he left and, everything that they did in the Guardians 1. But he was very happy, very excited to see his grandson. It ended with him eating some cereal and a little joke about, mowing someone's lawn. And you get the little Easter egg of the newspaper he was reading was tied into the holiday special with Kevin Bacon being kidnapped by aliens or whatnot. But then it pops up on the screen, your favorite character, Sharonda, from Infinity War. The legendary Star-Lord will return. I think I know the answer, but you might surprise me. Are you excited to get more of the legendary Star-Lord?
No.
Why not? You don't like Peter? You don't like Peter Quill?
Until he admits his crimes of
Listen,
Endgame. It
Sharonda,
just
we will never hear him atone for those. Neither will we hear Wanda kidnapping the whole town. It's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge. So I guess just to nerd out for a second, he's on Earth now. Peter's on Earth. Chris Pratt, from everything I was hearing from the press junkets leading up to the film, I thought everyone was going to be gone, especially with their relationship with James Gunn, with them fighting for him to come back. And it's like, I don't want anyone else to direct me besides James Gunn. But I mean, at this point, it's safe to assume that Bradley Cooper's coming back as Rocket. His brother Sean Gunn as Kraglин's going to come back. I'm assuming that we won't see Drax anymore. We won't see Gamora. It sounds like Nebula wants to come back.
No more.
Yeah, this was like over a year ago. I remember him saying he does not, the hair and makeup, like he made it clear that at least another thing too, no James Gunn, no Dave Bautista. If James Gunn isn't a part of it, he doesn't want to be a part of it. So Quill, I don't know where he fits moving forward on an earthly level. Besides hanging out with Scott Lang, they're both thieves. I don't know that him and Paul Rudd might get along. Nick Fury, I don't know. He can hire Peter to be a space consultant because he does know the galaxy. He's been traveling it. So again, this is a nerd out moment for you. I mean, where do you see Peter popping up again in the MCU, if anytime soon?
I don't know what Marvel's gonna do.
Yeah,
but none of the characters right now are like compelling to be like, ooh, I want to see them in another movie. Are you excited about any Marvel movies?
In the immediate future, I'm. I mean, listen, I'm excited to see Tiana Paris and Kamala Khan screen and seeing maybe what they can do with Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, but I'm not overly excited for it. But we'll see what comes of that and seeing what Nia DaCosta can bring to that. So we know we got Deadpool 3 and Thunderbolts, Captain America 4. I would say I'm excited for Captain America 4 because I'm just very curious to see what they're gonna do with Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford as the president. So I mean, that's probably the most exciting project on the horizon. And Deadpool 3. I'm excited to see Hugh Jackman back in the role. And I'm a big, we talk about Succession all the time. I can't wait to see what Tom does in the MCU. Because they casted him.
Matthew was in it.
What's that?
Matthew was in it?
Yeah, they casted him a couple weeks ago. They announced that the actor, Matthew, who plays Tom in Succession, has been casted in Deadpool 3. So I'm here for that. Everything else just seems so far away. Fantastic Four. I don't know when Blade's going to ever get in production. But I mean, there's some projects that I'm looking forward to. I'll pose that to you. What is anything that gets you?
And Agatha, Covenant of Chaos.
That is a project I'm excited for. I love the cast. Big Aubrey Plaza, Patty LuPone fan, and I love Ethan Hahn, so that's something to look forward to.
A lot of the chatter was like, this is the best movie since Endgame. Like, do you think this is the best movie since Endgame?
I have No Way Home above it. I will. Shang-Chi, this is actually kind of in the same boat for me, if I'm being honest.
I would sit through Shang-Chi over this.
You'll go Shang-Chi over this?
Because it has actual action fighting.
Right. Yeah.
The entire movie.
The only thing with Shang-Chi was that third act was just too. I wish it was more grounded. I'm putting it over. I'm putting over Eternals, even though I know I'm one of the few people that like Eternals. I'm putting over Eternals. I'm putting over Ant-Man all day. I don't know how you feel about Ant-Man Quantumanium of this or that. Which one are you going with?
I mean, I'll sit through this just for the music.
Yeah, 100%. Just for the music.
The point I'm getting to is
okay,
no, let me ask you a different question. Where would you rank this in phase 3?
Oh, phase 3. That's I mean, if that's God tier phase. Geez.
So do you see what I mean though? Like, you see how that changed? You see how it was so easy when I said rank it after phase?
Hold on. Let me pull up phase 3 because it has to be over at least one of them. Because I know, Civil War, obviously Infinity War.
You had Ragnarok, you had Black Panther, even Ant-Man and the Wasp was good. You had Civil War.
Put this over that for me.
Over what?
I hate Ant-Man and the Wasp, Sharon. I hate that film.
Oh, you do?
I hate it. I'm sorry. Ghost is literally. Yes, so I'm putting over that. What else do we have?
You got Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Civil War, Endgame, Infinity War, Homecoming, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out in phase 3 too.
I'm putting this over 3, or 2. I'm putting it over Captain Marvel. I'm putting it over Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm putting it over. I have fun with Thor Ragnarok. I really do. But I'm putting that over Thor Ragnarok.
Get the
I'm putting it over Thor Ragnarok, Sharana. I said it.
real, bruh.
I
Get
said
real.
it. I'm putting it over Thor
Get real.
Ragnarok. Over it. And I love me some Loki and Hella.
You're crazy.
But I'm putting it over Ragnarok.
Okay.
Putting it over Ragnarok. I'm definitely putting it over Doctor Strange. Final thoughts, Sharana, before we wrap this thing up. As far we talked about things to look. If there is one project that you can, I know you said Agatha. And what was the other project you said you were excited for?
I'm excited for Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Oh yeah, when does that come? June, right? Right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopeful. It's been a minute since we've seen Nick Fury. I love the cast. 6 episodes. Obviously, I hope that it's going to be more ramifications than the 6 episodes. But I'm hopeful. I don't think Mr. Sam Jackson would waste his time on something that's not worth his while. And the Queen of Dragons is back on TV, which I'm excited for. Sharonda, we can talk for hours, man. I really appreciate your time today. So before we wrap it up, can you let the people know, Sharonda, where can they find you? When's the next Awesome Live? When's the next review we can expect from Pay Your Way?
I don't know. I was supposed to be doing reviews tonight, but I'm so exhausted. I think I'm just gonna go to sleep. But I might wake up and do a Guardians review. I need to do Succession, Power, Queen Charlotte. I have a Queen Charlotte cast interview coming up, and you can find me on social at Pay or Wait.
Yes. Links in the bio. Can't wait to see that interview with Harrison Ford. Can't wait to see the Guardians review, as well as all the great stuff you have lined up for the people. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching our Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 spoiler review. Appreciate y'all. Before y'all leave this video, hit the thumbs up, share, comment, subscribe to both of our channels. And we got to do this again, Sharonda. We got to find the next big movie to just have a fun time talking about.
Let me know.
No doubt. So with that being said, guys, y'all have been awesome. We'll catch you.